What is going on, YouTube family? It is your main man, Maximilian, and I'm back at it again with another hit video. First and foremost, if you're new to the channel, please do me a big favor, like this video, subscribe to my channel, it's free, and of course, follow me on Instagram at KingMaxMillion. It would be very appreciated. But without further ado, let me get started. This is a very important video. NFL draft, or the NFL draft just happened, and I'm very excited to talk about my favorite team, the New York Football Giants. Big Blue, baby. So, I'm going to talk about the draft picks, of course, who we selected, go into detail about what's going on there. Then I'm going to talk about the team we currently have presented, and then after that, I'm gonna explain based off of, I know the schedule hasn't been released yet, the official schedule, but based off of, I'm just gonna make sure to give them their credit because it's important, based off of FBS schedules or FBschedules.com, I'm gonna go off of what they're saying the schedule will be like. So they have the schedule listed for the New York Giants for this upcoming season, but it's not set in stone yet. So I'm just gonna read off of what they're showing and basically give you my predictions based off of that. So that's the outline of this video. But yes, like I said, without further ado, let's get started. Don't want to keep anybody waiting, so let's get started. Giants, I believe, did a great job in this draft. I think they were really focused on their needs and what we really need to do going forward. I believe that the Giants are not ready for official good competition yet. You know, I'm a realist. I believe that the Giants have some things to clear up first. They need to work on a few things, you know, especially coming off a 3-14 season. Like, you're not going to say Super Bowl. I'm not one of those Giants fans. So don't come at me saying that I said the Giants are going to win the Super Bowl. I'm not saying that. I would love for them to make an attempt for the playoffs. But then again, I'm going to be a realist. I'm going to tell you my honest opinion. And I'm going to tell you how I feel based off of the schedule that I'm going to be reading off of that FBschedules.com has given me. So basically, I'm just going to read off of the draft picks and basically tell you a little bit about that and then go from there. So round 1, we had Abdul Carter, number 3 overall. And then we had Jackson Dart, number 25 overall in round 1. That was the quarterback everybody was talking about. I know there was a little bit of controversy that some people in the NFL world and fans, they thought maybe Shedeur Sanders could have been that person to be selected by the Giants. My thoughts on that, I personally feel like Shedeur is a great quarterback. I think that he will make an impact in the NFL. He did play catch. I don't know if anybody else saw this, but during the season last year, he did play catch with Malik Nabers in New York City. So that kind of gave some sort of foreshadowing, but I didn't really know for sure if they were going to pull the trigger there. But, you know, the Giants are known for keeping in touch with their people. As far as the decision they made, I'm a supporter of the team, and I'm just going to be by the team no matter what, win, lose, or draw. So I'm just going to trust management on this one. I personally think, I'm not going to say we should have took Shedeur, but I personally think that Jackson Dart might fit our mold better just because he's not necessarily flashy, over the top, like media is all around him. Yes, Shedeur has the following and he has that attention behind him, which is actually a good thing if you work in a big market. So he would probably be able to handle it. But the thing is, I don't think the Giants want any more drama. I don't think the Giants want to deal with anybody that's coming in thinking they're the best, thinking that, hey, I'm going to run the show, I'm going to do what I want. And I think that's the kind of vibe they got from Shedeur. Like I said, I think Shedeur is a great player. I do not believe it was right for him to slip all the way down to the 5th round. I believe there needs to be some kind of accountability or justice for Shedeur when it comes to that. But I wish him nothing but the best, and I hope his career goes well. So that's all I'm going to say. I think that situation, we just got to trust the Giants management and hope for the best there. So Jackson Dart, future quarterback of the New York Giants as of right now. Next pick in round 3, we had Darius Alexander from Toledo. Then round 4, we had Cam Skattebo. This guy, the running back, he actually was considered the steal of the draft. So I believe that this guy may be our replacement for Saquon Barkley. And I'm not saying that he's going to be better. I'm not saying that this guy is going to be the next Saquon. I'm not trying to compare him. But the thing is, we need good running back help. Because if we get a good run game back, that helps us out a lot. And we already have, in my opinion, I think we have a really good running back for our youth. I'm not referring to Devin Singletary. I see him more as just like a veteran presence. But I'm going to talk about Tyrone Tracy Jr. I think he stood out last year. Especially, the Giants weren't doing that well. We threw him into the fire. He started playing lights out. So I really respect his game. I think him and Cam Skattebo together, they're like a 1-2 punch. This kind of reminds me of Brandon Jacobs and Ahmad Bradshaw. I think personally they can gel, and hopefully they stay together and we keep them for the near future and for the years to come. Round 5, we drafted Marcus Embo, number 154. And then round 7, we drafted Thomas Fidone II, number 219, and Corey Black at number 246. So that's just the list of the rookies that we drafted. I'm still going to talk a little bit about each one, just briefly. I'm going to say how I think they can impact the game. So starting off first with Abdul Carter, I think this is great. I think this guy is going to be a real stud for our team. Adding him with Kayvon Thibodeau, adding him with Brian Burns and Dexter Lawrence, I think this is the big blue wrecking crew that we are going to be anticipating this year. The quarterbacks that are going to be lined up on the other side of the ball are going to have some trouble with our D-line. So I'm really excited to see us get after the quarterback this year. We need some help with that. And I'm going to say I really believe that our defense is going to make that next step. So our defense, I'm not worried about. I'm really not worried about the defense at all. The only question I got for the defense, it's not a worry, but there's always room for improvement. And I'm going to say, I think even though we got new cornerbacks or new help in our secondary, just from looking at the roster, I see we got Drew Phillips still. We got Tyler Nubin. We still got a few guys that are still listed on the roster. And we added Javon Holland, which is really good for us as a safety. I think it's really good that we're adding these pieces. And I'm personally on the fence because I'm not saying I don't like them. I just feel like we really need that production this year from Deonte Banks. I think we need that production from him this year. He played okay last year, but I know he can do better. And I know we have guys on this team that are really young, so they're trying to get into that mold. But it really just makes more sense if we could just get them all together and work on our secondary. That is the last thing I feel like of our defense. If we get that down packed, this team can really scare some teams. And we're a defensive team. This is just the way I look at it right now. We're a defensive team. We have a good front line. We have okay linebackers, we still got a few guys that can make an impact. And I feel like just from looking at the team, Micah McFadden, I like his game a lot. Just from looking at the overall standpoint, I think the front line is good. I think we're okay at the linebacker position. Our corners, above average. We got a good safety in Javon Holland. So I'm really thankful for what we got on the defensive side of the ball. That's the only question, because before, everybody was thinking maybe we could go get Travis Hunter, but he was too focused on playing both sides of the ball, which is not an issue. But again, I don't think the Giants were looking at that because they don't want any more attention than we're already going to get. So I think the draft picks that we chose were great. So I talked about Abdul Carter, how he can be an impact. I'm going to say Jackson Dart. I don't believe that he's going to necessarily start this year, but I will, or I may have to change my mind on that based off of the schedule that I'm seeing. Because if that's our schedule, I'm kind of a little worried. As a Giants fan, I'm a little worried. But like I said, I'm a realist. So you got to understand, I know what I'm talking about. But this is only the start. This is year one of this project. So I'm really excited and I'm really happy that we drafted this good. But Jackson Dart, he's a project. He'll be learning from Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. I think those are two good guys that he can learn from. I think it'll be great for him and his level of productivity moving forward as a member of the New York Giants. Then I'm going to take a look at Darius Alexander, another defensive lineman. We can use him as depth. I think this is great for us because Dexter Lawrence has been carrying the team the past couple years. Just from looking at our front seven or our defensive line, we have to make sure that we have enough pass rushers to get after the quarterback and stop the run, because teams are just getting by us like that. I mean, we have no answer for teams. And the thing is, it just sucks because we spend so much money going after these kind of guys and we don't use them the best way possible. So Darius Alexander was a good pick because he adds depth to our roster. I'm going to skip over a bit because I'm looking at the depth chart off of the New York Giants website. I'm going to look at Corey Black. We needed some more help in our secondary, so he's a cornerback. We needed more help in our secondary. I think that's a good pickup. More depth to the roster. He can learn from some of the veterans on the team. I think that's a good pickup. I'm going to skip now to Thomas Fidone II, a tight end. I think this is cool because, we already got our tight ends. I think that this is great because it's only adding more depth to our roster. And these guys will be thrown in there in and out. It'll be pretty good for the team just to see these guys be thrown in and out, being adjusted to certain types of plays, certain types of schemes and things of that nature. So I think this is great for the New York Giants franchise. Marcus Embo, he's an offensive lineman. I think we really need help on our offense. And this is something I'm going to talk about because I don't really like our offense right now. Our offense is not doing the best. I truly believe that we have to just somehow find a way to put points on the board. Putting points on the board is what matters in the NFL. You have to understand that the NFL defense can win championships, but you have to put points on the board. So if our offense is not doing anything, you can't just rely on the defense. They're going to get tired and get burned out. So Marcus Embo, he's going to be maybe placed in there for an injured guy. I think personally it's always good to use more linemen, but I hope he can progress as time goes on. And the last guy I want to talk about, I did briefly mention him earlier, but Cam Skattebo, I think this is great. We do need help on our offense, and from drafting a guy like Marcus Embo, who can be placed into the O-line, maybe in this season or however they plan to play him out, our O-line is, I believe, above average. We're not the best, but we have a pretty decent O-line as compared to the past couple years. So he's not going to get hammered in the backfield, I don't think. But I think a guy like Cam Skattebo has a high motor, has high energy. He's going to come in there fearless, really giving that energy, and that will spark the team, especially when we need it. So guys like him, guys like Tyrone Tracy Jr., and the veteran leadership of Devin Singletary just mentoring the young guys, I think the running back room is pretty good. So that's what I'm going to say about our running back room. Now, I'll briefly talk about the quarterback situation. I know right now Russell Wilson is QB1. That's our main guy. We got Jameis Winston as the backup. Still got Tommy DeVito, you know. Tommy Cutlets. But we also drafted Jackson Dart. So are we going to keep all four quarterbacks? That is a question, because maybe we cut two of them to free up more space for another position that we might need. So I think that personally, if I were the GM, I would really consider it, because if you really think about it, Russ is only gonna, he has his 1-year deal. Russ is gonna be here. He's gonna be there to mentor Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart is probably gonna be thrown into the fire. I'm gonna say thrown into the fire because that's what it's looking like, just off of what I'm hearing. He's gonna be thrown into the fire very soon, and you got to realize it would be a waste to have two other quarterbacks, because I don't think it would be necessary to keep a guy like, I might get some hate for it, but I'm going to say Tommy DeVito. I don't think it would be great to keep him, because even though he knows the playbook and everything, I think personally you got to go by guys that have the experience in the NFL, and you got to go by guys that, you know, have played there for several years. They know how to adjust to disappointments, failures, and things like that. And I think that they may have to move on from him. They might keep Jameis Winston because, like I said, if Russ isn't doing good, and let's just say we're looking at 8 weeks in and the Giants are 2-6, they're probably going to sub in Jackson Dart, and God forbid an injury happens or something like that, you still have Russell Wilson there, and you still have Jameis Winston there. But I'm just saying, I think they should go with probably just 2 quarterbacks, because you got to focus on the rest of the team. And you have to realize the thing is here, all these guys are going to do their part. All these guys are trying their best to play as hard as they can, go after winning. And Russell Wilson, I think, is going to help us a bit. You know, he's more mobile, he's a good quarterback, and he's a good leader. But hopefully our record does do better than last year, because I'm hoping that we can at least be competitive. So I think some of our needs are on the offensive side of the ball. Quarterback, I think we're good. Running back, I think we're pretty good. Wide receiver, I think we're improved, because we do have, of course, everybody knows Malik Neighbors by now. This will be a great season for him. But I think some guys that they need to really focus on are Darius Slayton, Wan'Dale Robinson. That's going to be wide receiver 2 and 3. You know, you're going to have to try and figure that out. I think based off of how their production has been, Wan'Dale Robinson might be wide receiver number 2, just because of how fierce he plays. And then Darius Slayton's number 3. But then who fits that number 4? Are we still going to keep Jalen Hyatt, or do we trade him away and get something for him? Because that guy does have untapped potential. I feel that way, but we'll see. And as far as the rest of the team, I'm just going to say we personally are good with tight end, and I still think that we just have to put points on the board. That's our main concern. Do we have enough protection for Russell Wilson to make the right make the right throws and make the right reads? And are our wide receivers enough to put more points on the board? So those are the questions I have going into this upcoming season. But I'm going to move on now. I do see the schedule. Like I said, I'm getting this information from fbschedules.com. They have laid out a format of the New York Giants 2025 schedule. So I'm just going based off of this. This is not set in stone, but if it is, well, it'll be a very tough schedule. So I kind of knew this going in. Being a Giants fan is not the easiest, but hey, you know, we still got 4 Super Bowls. Not too many teams can say they have that. But I'm going to read off the schedule that I'm looking at, and I'm just going to tell you straight up win or loss, and then at the end of it, the final record of the 2025 season. So they have right now listed first week, game 1 at Chicago. So we'll be playing the Chicago Bears at Soldier Field. They got Caleb Williams. They got some guys over there, Rome Azunde. So they got some guys that they can play some football. They got guys that can play ball over there. They have some experience. You know, they didn't have a good season either this past year. But since they're at home and it's in Chicago, they might have the edge there because they're more of a unit. But I don't know, man. I think this game could go either way. As a Giants fan, I think they're 2 inexperienced teams. I know I just said that they have more experience together because, you know, Caleb Williams was on the team last season. But I don't know. I think this game still could go either way because our defense can make some big plays that can really affect this game. So, if I gotta be honest, I'm gonna say, just for the sake of it, I'm gonna be a believer here. I'm gonna say, I'm just gonna say the Bears win. I'll be fair. I'm going to say the Bears take this one, but I think it'll be very close. So the Bears win that game. Giants start out the season 0-1. The next game that is on the schedule, they have the Dallas Cowboys at AT&T Stadium. This one isn't going to go well. I already know it. Dallas is going to win. I will say this, though. Dallas isn't really that good of a team, in my opinion. I think personally this year the Giants may make an upset when they face Dallas again in the Meadowlands. I think by that time the team will be more accustomed to each other, and I think the Giants will win the next meeting. So I'm going to say that. But since this is in Jerry's world and it's week 2, I think Dallas takes that game, so the Giants start out 0-2. Next game, another road game. This one's at Denver at Mile High Stadium. This one again can be another toss-up. You know, they got Bo Nix. I think the Giants can steal this one. I really do. I know that Denver just made the playoffs and everything, but I think the Giants can come in here and steal this game. This game is kind of a reminder to me of the Seattle game, because everybody thought last year the Giants were going to get smoked by the Seattle Seahawks, and we went into their stadium, Lumen Field, and beat them. So I think this is going to be one of those upset games. I think the Giants finally turn it around and they get their first win of the season. They start 1-2. Next game, another, wow, so many road games I'm looking at, man. This is insane. I don't even know if this is the right schedule, but if it is, my oh my, I don't know how or why the NFL scheduled it like this, but that's just messed up, man. That's all I gotta say. So the next week, week 4, at Detroit Lions at Ford Field. Very experienced team. I'm just going to cut to the chase. I think that's a loss, but Giants are going to be 1-3 by that time. At Las Vegas Raiders, Allegiant Stadium, Las Vegas, Nevada. That's next week, week 5. I think this game will be an improvement since the last time we played the Raiders. The last time we played the Raiders, it wasn't a good matchup. We got destroyed, and Daniel Jones got hurt, our old quarterback. Glad he's gone, but I'm just saying I wish him the best, but I'm happy we moved on from him. As far as this game against the Raiders, I'm going to say very close battle. This one might be a toss-up too, but maybe down the stretch it's going to come down to who leads the team better, Geno Smith or Russell Wilson. And since they just got Ashton Jeanty, their running back, I think he may be a game changer in that game. So I'm going to say, I think in this one, I'm going to say the Raiders, but it'll be a close game. So at this point, the Giants aren't looking that good. They only got one win on the season. They're 1-4, and it's not looking good. So now there's questions starting to arise. Do we bench Russell Wilson? Do we bring in Jackson Dart? I think at this point you still play it out because it's still a season, but there's still more games left. So the next game listed on this schedule is at New England at Gillette Stadium. I think that's a win for the Giants. I think they're going to get it done. Pretty good win at Gillette Stadium. Very good win. Giants get their second win of the season. The next game after that, it would be at New Orleans at the Caesars Superdome. That's what I'm saying. I'm looking at this list, and it's like the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games, they have us listed as an away team. So I don't think that's going to be the actual schedule, but I'm just reading based off of that how the schedule might play out. So if this is the schedule, I'm just reading how I think the team will adjust to that win or loss wise. But at New Orleans Saints at the Caesars Superdome, I think this will be a close game, but the Giants win this one. This would be their third win of the season, so they would tie their previous record of last year of getting only 3 wins by week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So by week 7 in this schedule, they will have already tied their previous win record of last season. So that's a good thing. But there's always room for improvement. So moving on, Dallas Cowboys is the next game at MetLife Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey. Like I said earlier in the video, I think this game is going to go to the Giants. I think they're going to be hungry. I think they're going to be ready to take down Dallas. And I think that it's going to be a game for the ages because, you know, it's been a while since we beat Dallas. So they're going to be very hungry for a win, and I think they finally pull it off. So a win for the Giants, that's win number 4 on the season. Next game, Philadelphia Eagles at MetLife Stadium. Another game where I'm like, look, it's in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Saquon's return again, but we have a better roster. We'll be amped up to play. We got a better pass rush. I'm personally still going to take the Eagles as much as I hate them, but I think the game still might be a little closer this time because our offense improved. Eagles will win this game, but I'm just going to say that, yeah, it's going to be a closer game, in my opinion. The next game after that would be the Washington Commanders at MetLife Stadium again. So they just have the list. I don't think this is going to be the actual list of teams. Like, I think they just laid out the list of teams and put it in whatever order they found and just said where it's going to be located. So once the official schedule comes out, that's where I would be able to give a real assessment. So maybe I make a video on that in the future, but we'll see about that. But the Washington Commanders at MetLife Stadium, I think this is going to be a win for the Giants. I know everybody's talking about Washington, how they made the conference finals of the NFC Championship game. It's a one-year thing. That's what they said about the Giants. You know, we made the playoffs a couple years ago. We did really well, and then the next year we didn't make it. We didn't make it to the playoffs the next year. So anything could happen. But I think the Giants take this one because we're at home and we usually beat Washington anyway. Last year was like the first time Washington swept us in ages, in a very long time. So the Giants will win that game. I don't know what the score will be, but the Giants will win that game. Green Bay Packers, that would be the next week at MetLife Stadium. I'm on the fence about this because we did beat the Packers the last time we played them, and it was at MetLife. It was a good, close game. I'm on the fence because it could go either way, and I'm really saying that. I think by this point, because I forgot to mention, I think the Giants would have 5 wins by now. This is based off of my pre-assessment. So I think they're at 5 wins from me counting so far. I think this game will be a very close game just by looking at it. I'm going to personally say the Giants in an upset. I'm going to say the Giants are at home. The Giants get an upset win against Green Bay. That gets them to 6 wins. Minnesota Vikings the next week at MetLife Stadium. I think this is a win for the Giants. That's win number 7. So Giants are looking pretty good, you know, like 7 wins, that's not bad compared to 3. Like, I would be happy with that. That's improvement from the last year. But the thing I am looking forward to most is just how we fight. Are we keeping in range of the season? Like, are we playing as hard as we can and staying as close as we can to the game final score? Are we competing? Yes or no? That's what I'm going to be looking for. And I think this year, I think we have a better chance to compete, period. So the next game after that would be the Kansas City Chiefs. I think the Chiefs will win that. It'll be at MetLife Stadium, but the Chiefs will win that game. So the Giants will lose, the Chiefs will win. It'll be at MetLife Stadium, but yeah, the Chiefs will win that game, period. The next game would be the Los Angeles Chargers at MetLife Stadium. This one's another toss-up. I think it could go either way, but just because, I'm going to say the Chargers win this one. It'll be a close battle, though. Now, looking forward, we got the San Francisco 49ers in the next week. I think the Giants can pull off an upset here. I really do. So, looking at the rest of the schedule, just to cut this video short, because I know I've been going a long time, I think that their last win of the season, based off of this schedule, will be against San Francisco. Because the next two meetings will be at Philly and at Washington. So, I think the Giants, hypothetically speaking, I'm going to be generous here, and I'm going to hope for 8 wins. I think that would be a very great improvement. I think that would be something to look forward to building off of for next season. And with that said, I think if they reach 7 or 8 wins, I believe that Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll keep their jobs. So that is the end of this video. Tell me how you feel about it. I hope everybody's doing well. I make videos like this pretty often. So if you're new to this channel, please like, subscribe, comment down below your favorite team, how you feel about the video. If you're a Giants fan, tell me what you think, how we're going to do this year. And of course, do me a big favor. Follow me on Instagram at KingMaxMillion. It would be much appreciated. But without further ado, I appreciate all of you for watching this video. Hope everybody has an awesome day. Stay safe, take care, and yes, go Giants.